In a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, do you know that any property that you're legally entitled to receive before you filed your bankruptcy but haven't received yet is included in your bankruptcy estate? Well, what does that mean? That's the topic of this video. Hello again, everyone. I'm attorney Robert Flessis. If this is your first time here, you might want to consider subscribing right now, because if you do subscribe, you're going to know where to go to get answers to your legal questions. I don't think a lot of people realize that property that's owed to you but you haven't received yet becomes part of your bankruptcy estate. That means that the trustee can take that property from you unless it's covered under one of the exemptions that are afforded to you. Here are some examples of property that the bankruptcy trustee could potentially take from you. The most common examples are wages and tax refunds that are owed to you, but you haven't received yet prior to the filing date of your case. Other property that could be subject to the trustee's seizure could be vacation or severance pay that you earned during your employment but haven't received yet. Here's another one. Let's say you were in a car accident and you're not at fault and you sued the other party prior to the bankruptcy filing, but the case is not settled yet, but you're entitled to some money. That becomes part of your bankruptcy estate. Here's another one. Let's say you're an insurance agent and you have future commissions, your book of business, owed to you based on policies that you've sold prior to the date of the filing of your case. Well, those commissions are also subject to the trustee's reach. And the last example that I'll discuss can be rent owed from real estate that you own, or any royalties from copyrights that you own, or patents and dividends that you earn on stocks. All of these sources of money can be taken from you unless you have enough exemptions to cover them. There's also another rule of the bankruptcy code. If you acquire or you become entitled to acquire certain money within 6 months after you file your bankruptcy case, you have to report that money to the bankruptcy court. The most common example where this applies is when a parent, friend, or relative passes away during that 6-month period and you're going to inherit some money or property. That has to be reported to the bankruptcy trustee. There are also special rules for people who reside in a community property state. The most common example occurs when only one spouse files for bankruptcy. A community property state considers the property of one spouse to also be the property of the other spouse. So the non-filing spouse's property becomes part of the bankruptcy estate and has to be reported. There is also special rules for married people who live in common law property states. The rule states that all of the filing spouse's property is not only subject to the bankruptcy estate, but half of the property jointly owned by married people living in a community property state is included in the filing spouse's bankruptcy estate. Now for the good news. Here are some examples of property the trustee could never take from you. One would be property that you acquire after the filing of your bankruptcy, but subject to the exemptions that I pointed out. The trustee can't touch your pension or retirement plans, tax-deferred education funds, or property that you use as collateral for a loan if the lender retains possession of the collateral. Any property that you're holding for someone else is not included in your bankruptcy estate. And any money that's withheld by your employer to contribute to employee benefit plans and health insurance plans are also exempt from the trustee's reach. You have to report all property in your bankruptcy petition. If you don't, then you could get in trouble with the law, or the court could deny your bankruptcy discharge. Before you file bankruptcy or even consider it, you should always speak with an experienced bankruptcy attorney to know exactly what you're getting into. I'm attorney Robert Flessis. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.